Welcome to the Defiance and Obedience Podcast, seeking to build strong men in the home and public square. And here's your hosts, Josh, the Second Amendment absolutist, and Ian, the conspiracy guy.
Hey, beer nerd.
Hey, welcome to the Contrary Takes.
Yeah, doing this live on the road.
That's right.
Well,
And
live recording.
I mean, this really is a testament to, if this video footage actually turns out, it's a testament to the video stabilizer technology in the iPhone, because it's currently shaking around like a Macarena. And we are currently just hoping that this footage turns out with our faces in the frame, not wildly shaking all over the place. We did a test footage just to make sure, and it looked okay, so we'll see.
Yeah, so we are somewhere in the middle of some wheat fields, coming back from the teacher training out in Moscow at Lagos School, however you pronounce it. It's probably the opposite of the O sound of Moscow, or maybe it's the same.
Well, just don't mess up Moscow.
Yeah,
It's Moscow, not Moscow,
yep.
because that's the one across the pond, which, I don't know, it's spelled the same on paper, without context, you're going to pronounce it the same, but whatever.
Yeah.
So it was good. We, as you know, Josh and I are both teachers, so we went to help just kind of sharpen up our training, and this is the off season, as you might say, for us, so doing other work, but still trying to refine our skills for when we go back in the game coming this fall.
Yeah, you ready to yell, "Put me in, coach," yet?
Right. Yeah, he said at one point, that summer's halfway over or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know if it's halfway, but
Let's not get that dark.
but they do. I think they let out earlier.
They do.
So,
yeah.
and they start. I think they're starting in August. But yeah, so that makes sense. But there are a lot of good lessons. Man, there's just like in your Christian life, when you step back and look at things, you're like, man, there's a lot of ways that we can mess it up.
Yeah, speaking of getting messed up, we just got a sign that says rough road. So,
Yeah, which I don't know. I think this thing is slipping a little bit.
yeah, we'll see how much rougher it gets.
Yeah, but I didn't take it. There maybe was some. There was definitely self-reflection looking back on this last year on how I could have done things better, and us as a school. But on the whole, I was like ready. Yeah, I guess ready to get back into it and fix what I did wrong. And a lot of it is hard things. There's obviously the mechanics of teaching, maintaining control of the classroom, getting the students involved, but a lot of it is teaching by doing and teaching them to. They're looking to you to mimic, and what are you teaching them by how you're acting?
Yeah, that's a big one. Is like how I think it was Whitley was talking about, just how you handle when the science experiment gets dropped on the floor. Are you defeated, angry? Are you that's how that experiment went?
Yeah.
Those are the things that actually he was talking about, the things you can't plan for that will make the biggest impact in their lives.
Yeah, can you laugh when the student's freaking out in front of you?
Yeah.
Like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Just be like removing yourself, not not engaging and coming down into their cesspool, but saying, "Oh, what is happening here?"
Yeah, that was the way. Like some of the, I don't know exactly how he handles it, but just the examples that he gave. Instead of freaking out at a student freaking out, but just going, "Whoa!" Like that was one of the things he kept saying is, "Whoa, where did that come from?" And asking the questions. That's the one you said, and it keeps coming back to me is, how are we responding to these things? Are we trying to direct things too much, or do we want to ask questions in order to bring their thinking into it?
Yeah, like it's like being the parent that like, oh, I know, I used to be this kid, and I know exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And you're kind of going based off some assumptions.
Yeah.
And not asking enough questions, because a lot of times it doesn't even matter what the real reason. You saw their reaction. You saw enough to help them walk through this. Whether that's if it was in front of the whole class, it needs to be dealt with in front of the class, or maybe addressed outside and then apology given to the rest of the class, making it right with everybody. But a lot of times we want to jump in and be the fixer of things, rather than like letting some of those things just sit, and you actually don't need to fix it in the most immediate future, but you do need to act. You do need to act like you care about the right things. And if you're freaking out and you're flustered by their flusteredness or whatever they just said, he gave the example of a junior high boy giving some response or reaction to the teacher, and then the teacher just winding up and spitting back this thing, and at a 2-second delay or more, the student is realizing what he just did or what he just said, and like how he got this teacher all spun up.
Yeah. And, the teacher's taking it as this was pre-planned. He's been thinking about this. This is premeditated disrespect.
Right.
And it's like the kid's not thought about it at all. It's not been on his mind at all. It just popped off because that's what kids do. And not taking offense right away.
Not taking offense ever.
Yeah.
That's a common theme that I know we're all susceptible to, where if you remove yourself and say, actually, this is your problem, this is not my problem. This is even if they're criticizing you, if they're freaking out at you, that's their problem.
Yeah.
Don't make it your problem by freaking out in return. Even in your own home, where a lot of these things can apply directly to the home and parenting. And if you are being a mirror of their own behavior, now you're reinforcing their bad behavior by just showing it right back to them and amplifying it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah? You're gonna talk back to me? Now I'm gonna put you in your place and tell you what's up.
Yeah, embarrassing them for the entire class, probably on the do not do list.
Right. Right. Yeah, and even, there was another, we talked about how as teachers, because we're talking, obviously, a lot of this is in context of teachers, but we're acting in some ways in loco parente, so in place of the parent, and I think in a legal sense that's more talking about protection and things like that, but in a classroom setting where we are wanting to reinforce the things that are taught at home, and not necessarily specific to their home, but that they've delegated some authority to us, and so we're to take that very circumspectly and seriously.
Yeah. Like one of them said, I can't remember, but standing there at the, in front of the class with the shadow of their father behind us.
Right. Just like, I mean, the same could go for in the home where your kids should see the shadow of their father behind your wife, But in another one of the talks, talking specifically about the home, talking about how, it's in the context of not losing your kids and wanting them to be, not just be in the physical box of home, but like be with you and love what you have and love the right things. A big part of that is actually just making your fun a super great place.
Making home a super fun place.
Fun place that they want to be. And, Christians can often take fun and think that's cheap. But I think it should actually be really substantive. It should come from
it should be part of your culture.
Deep-rooted things, yeah. Why should the pagans have all the fun? That doesn't make any sense. If we are supposed to enjoy the things of earth, take true joy in Christ, and He's the one that created all things, I think we should have a pretty freaking good time, regardless of circumstances. So actually, you can be in the middle of suffering and actually still have joy, and that should shine through, and as a stark contrast to the rest of the world.
Yeah, because we're actually living in our Father's world, the world that He created, and so we should be the ones showing how to make it the most enjoyable, making the most of it.
Josh, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Doc Pop Prebiotic soda, 5 grams of sugar. That's my life these days.
I got a cranberry lime.
Oh yeah,
Polar.
It's good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Good thing you had to open yours to just prove that's what was actually in it.
That's right. Actually, my favorite Polar, my favorite seltzer is grapefruit.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But there's really no tasting notes to give. I mean, it does taste cranberry lime-ish. It's bubbly.
Yeah, that's what is interesting. Like, these are not maybe not as bad, but like when you think about the community that is in drinking a soda, it's kind of like the cigarette of pipe smoking. Like not in the negative
dirty
health value,
yeah.
but like you don't sit around and drink sodas and the depth of character.
Right.
It's pretty flat.
Yeah.
But it's got a time and place, like when you're driving.
That's right. Yeah, that's the only option. I mean, aside from coffee, which we already had some. I did, at least.
Yeah.
We actually we ended up the last 2 mornings of the conference. We went and got coffee from was it Red Star?
Red Star, yeah.
Red Star coffee joint in Moscow, which it was good.
Yeah.
We commented on the irony of a Red Star coffee joint in Moscow.
Yeah. Seems
a nod to communism. Yeah. Because the conference provided coffee, but you can only, at least for me, I can only do church coffee so much. And first thing in the morning, like Folgers is not the best part of waking up for me.
It's definitely not.
But it was good.
We went to a cigar shop over there.
Yep.
Refuge Cigar Shop.
Yeah, shout out Refuge.
That was a good experience.
Yep, it's a great guy. One of the founders that we talked to.
His name was Poppi, if I remember right.
If not,
yeah, sorry.
Shout out, bro.
Yeah.
No, but it had a great vibe, like nice leather seats and cool brick, not facade, like actual brick construction, and
they've been open just a little over a year.
Yep.
And he goes to one of the kind of brotherhood of churches in that area, and then one of
the other regulars.
One of the regulars was there sat down and talked with us and talked about, you know, their kind of church community. They definitely knew each other well, and went to different churches, and we're also familiar with everything else that was going on with the other churches in the area. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's nice, obviously, to have a cigar lounge to go hang out and all that, but to know that they're in touch with the community, and that the community is the church community there is cohesive. They don't agree on everything. They get along and work together really well. So it was exciting to hear that.
Yeah, even just get some encouragement of how we can bring that back to our town, and maybe some ways that we can collaborate more with either other churches or maybe the city, just to be more involved in things in our city.
Oh, you might have got him.
Yeah, I think I did. Trying to get this fly out. But that was good. We also visited Tapped, a local restaurant there.
How was, what did you have to drink there, Ian?
I had some good beers.
Yeah, there was, definitely. The,
I don't know what you're getting at. The hazelnut porter
the
was
hazelnut
great.
chocolate porter was fantastic. That was really good.
Oh, who was that by? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Totally should be a memorable one.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of beers from them.
Rememberable or memorable?
Yeah, that would be.
But yeah, then there were some interesting ciders. You had a barrel-aged pear cider, was it?
It wasn't pear.
Oh, it wasn't pear.
It was, but it was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. Let's see.
And then, I had the Pallet Jack IPA from Barley Brown. I was going to say Farmer Brown. I'm like, that's not it.
It's not Farmer Brown.
Barley Brown out of Baker City, Oregon. There's not much in Baker City, I can verify that, other than Barley Brown. Vacation there once. There was a hot tub and there was Barley Brown.
Well, it leaves an impression.
That's right. But yeah, no, my Moscow's not that big, but it's got some good offerings. And even the local, the new St. Andrew's bookshop has some great coffee there. I had a triple espresso there.
Oh yeah, so that was their. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't pay attention when we went into it.
Yeah.
So it is an NSA bookshop.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I mean, that makes sense. I didn't know if it was Canon Press or if it was just.
No, that's why I was giving that guy, the kid behind the counter, such a hard time, because he was a Logos graduate from this year. He just graduated high school, and
Ian is something of an interrogator. Like, he'll make you question things in life. If you're the poor hopeless kid behind the counter pulling coffee shots, and he's just wondering, it's like, hey, is this your dream job? And the implication by his tone was, the answer better be no.
Well, I thought I'd already talked to him a little bit, so I thought I was just making conversation.
Oh, I was listening. I think the kid was back on his heels a little bit right off the bat.
He's like, well, not forever, but I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
He's like, is this person been sent here by, my employer to,
Yeah, mystery shopper.
Yep.
No, but he said it was his third job, I think. Like, he has a couple other gigs going. But, yes, there were some good places in town. And, I always appreciate some good food, good drinks. Yeah, the drink that Josh was hinting at, a drink that was it French 75? Is that what it is?
That was the name of it.
That was the name of it. And in the description, it said botanicals plus cider. And I'm like, okay, so I'm expecting cider, but botanicals. That sounds interesting because I'm thinking gin. Gin is high on the botanicals.
Yeah.
I get it.
Pick up like some, could be lavender, it could be
spruce.
Yeah. Coriander, orange peel. Did it have any of those?
No. I mean, not from what I picked up. I mean,
no.
It was like I mean, I thought it was a white wine. I legit thought she poured it from the wrong tap because. So that's the other thing. It's typically a mixed drink. This is a pre-mixed drink out of a tap handle, and I don't know if they connected the wrong keg or it's just a really unimpressive drink.
I think it was. We talk about that a lot where we get the salted caramel such and such, and there's a lot of such and such and not a hint of salt or caramel. And I think that was just one of those like poorly, like your goal for this drink was not the outcome, and you should have tasted it before you kegged it and sent it out, because it was.
And I should have tasted it before I ordered it, because I just thought, oh, they're not going to have it up there if it's disgusting, And it wasn't disgusting. It was just like, this is unimpressive. This does not even match the description you put on it.
If they said a dry cider that was kind of like a wine, that would be. I'm trying to think what kind of wine it would be. I don't drink a lot of white wines. I don't have Ugg boots, so I think that's a prerequisite. But it was just if the description was unimpressive white wine or cidery wine, then it might have been okay.
Right.
But I don't know.
I just verified we're still recording, so that's good news.
But then you would have known not to buy it.
Right.
And they didn't charge you for it.
Yes, I appreciate it. There was a little back and forth with the.
For some reason, the lady behind the bar
didn't appreciate.
Yeah, she felt like she was being personally attacked.
I was just asking questions.
I guess if you know Ian, you know that he's not personally attacking you with these kinds of questions, but maybe kind of like the guy behind the counter. They don't know Ian, and so they don't know that he's not judging their very heart. But she, I would say no less than half a dozen times. Her refrain was, "I'm not a liar. I'm not lying to you."
And then I said, "No, I seriously, I do not think you're lying." And she's like, "Oh, I know that."
She thought you were lying when you said that. She thought you were lying.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where I definitely contemplated walking away from it and just leaving it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, how about one more time?
Yeah.
And the one more time was, hey, could you just give me a sample again from this thing that you say is already in my glass? And I didn't say it like that.
If it was behind the wall, she would have 100% spit it.
She just kind of she had a smile on her face, but she basically was like, "Are you kidding me?"
She handled it really well, and I think that was I think that almost put her over the top, and then she was able to pull herself together and be like, "Okay, just laugh at it."
I said, "Can you just humor me?" I thought it was funny. That's not funny.
I thought the whole thing was hilarious. It was really funny. And I felt bad for her, and also she could have handled it a little bit better too.
I did think, because that was the first night, and I was like, maybe just leave it, and then maybe another night we'll come back and I'll just ask for a sample of it. And I'm like, no, because I'm fresh off tasting it right now.
Yeah.
And she already said I can sample anything, so why not just? But I was kind of hoping that there might be a change in the guard, and I might get a chance to.
Yeah. And the sample, so the difference, excuse me.
Yeah, the sample's warm.
The sample's warm, and that made it better.
Yeah.
It did not make it good. It did make it better.
Uh-huh.
There was zero botanicals, but they put a whole bunch of ice in the final drink.
Which it's curious, because if it's in a keg, in a kegerator, you would expect it to be cold.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the sample was warm, because it was definitely warm. It wasn't just like, oh, this is because we didn't let it sit there for half an hour or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, good times.
Yeah.
We did also downtown Moscow see a tube, like an inner tube thing that you take to the beach.
Yeah.
And it was
Like a donut.
Yes, it was secured to a bike parking spot, bike rail, with a bike combination lock.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was there for at least a couple days.
Yeah,
So,
when we left, it was still there.
So, I mean, it was secure. Nobody had cut through the lock to get
or cut through the donut.
Yeah.
I mean, that among purple hair and other things.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
This is my second time to Moscow, and it is interesting that it is kind of like the Fremont area of Seattle in a lot of ways, like a mini Fremont. So you know, when you come at it from knowing the the Moscow mood crowd, the people over there, and you think, oh, it's all wonderful, the promised land, as some call it. No, they've definitely got a fight in front of them, and it's probably in front of them frequently.
Yeah, I mean, taking your kids downtown, you're going to see stuff.
Yeah.
And lots of
break
opportunity.
out into a song.
You're going to
Make it my way.
No. Is that Grant or anyway? Are you thinking of the pop like mid 2000s?
Yeah. I don't know who that was. It was one of the early internet wonders, wasn't it?
Yeah. Come on, I know it. It was Avril Lavigne's era.
Yeah.
And people are probably yelling into their phone about now.
Why can't you guys remember anything?
Yeah. It's a thing. When we press record, other than when we're recording, our memory is crystal clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so there was
the brewery or a name. I mean, that's
place name, somebody's name. Yeah. But there were a lot of good sessions. I mean, just think if you went to a 3-day conference and it was all about whatever job that you have, you're going to walk up and you semi-respect the people talking.
Yeah.
You're going to walk away with a lot of things, and that's definitely the case.
Yeah, when you love what you're doing, people you're working with, the people you're working for, both on the board and the admin side of things, and then also for the parents, you kind of want to eat it up.
Yeah.
There's a tank right there on the side of the road.
Yeah. Interesting.
Cool. I've not seen
We're in the middle of tumbleweeds.
Yep. Definitely a lot of that.
Yeah, and just ran across literally a tank sitting next to a couple semis.
Huh.
This side of so we're going through eastern Washington, down south of I-90. Just a lot of farm towns and open fields and
Highway 26.
Yeah, lots of great landscape. But it's just a whole different world over here. You go from, like I said, you go from tumbleweeds to wheat fields to really rocky landscape.
Yeah.
And Columbia Basin. It's got its own beauty to it for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's I have come over here a lot, but it's usually not this time of year, and so seeing all the greenery, it is beautiful. We're kind of out of the Palouse now and into just hills. It's kind of, I don't know if this is technically in the Scablands, but it is kind of the pathway for one of my favorite subjects in 5th grade, which is the Noahic flood, and then also the fall along after the ice age melt off about 700 or 800 years later. We're kind of right in that flow zone from the Missoula flood breakaway to where the water flowed through North Oregon and southern Washington, and you just see it all over the hillsides. I could rant on it forever, but if you want just a little bit of information about our history over here, look up J. Harlan Bretz, B-R-E-T-Z, and his story is fantastic.
Wow, what are all those? Is that all orchard?
That looks, that is really cool looking.
It's kind of before you usually get to orchard country.
Is it orchard or is it like a winery? It's hard to tell the way it's
I don't know.
organized up there.
Well, yeah, we're like, this is obviously, we just went through a bunch of brown and now we're in green.
Green on one side and rust and empty apple boxes on the other side.
Yeah. This is corn right here, and then beyond that, it looks like, I don't think it's apples, but it's some sort of
could be cherries. It looks like smaller leaves.
tree. Yeah. But yeah, this is the whole other half of Washington that you just don't see.
2/3 of Washington, really.
Yeah. A lot of agricultural business in Washington. That,
If you ever think that we are running out of space to house humans, all you have to do is take a drive from SeaTac to Spokane, and you go, oh, okay, we can pack in a few more.
right. You know, we have experienced some beautiful things of crossing, because Moscow is like just barely across the Washington-Idaho border, but doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile. You get to experience the benefit of lower taxes across the board, namely in gas.
All kinds of fuels,
all kinds of fuels.
Alcohol and gas.
Yep. And then yes, in alcohol, we don't have the insane like 20% liquor tax in Idaho, or they don't have it that we do in Washington.
You can go in and buy a $25 of old Forester, and you walk away spending $27 and change.
Yeah.
You can go buy right now gas for $4.09, and just right across the border, not 15 minutes away, it's $4.90.
Yeah. And what are we getting for that money? Like, what, you don't, are Idahoans like just having such a worse life because they don't have the benefit of what these taxes are bringing us?
It's better education for us, right? We have better education in Washington.
Yes.
Cleaner cities, right? I think it was cleaner.
Better roads.
Better roads. Yeah. This road is as rough as it's been. It is much better than anywhere south of Seattle or mid Seattle. King County.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's amazing when you don't have to pay for, I don't know, a bunch of people's needles and like projects to try to house them, and
cut their genitals
corruption
off.
And I mean, because let's face it, yes, a lot of money is allocated in the name of all these dumb projects that we can easily shoot at and shoot holes in, but there's a lot that goes to fraud, and we don't even know what that number is, that goes to fraud. I mean, just look in LA, lots of their, private organizations have gone under investigation. Not even talking about the Nick Shirley stuff, like before that, when it was, like, of course, during 2020, when a lot of money was getting spread all over the place, there was like a lot of rerouting where, the husband of the city councilwoman started an NCO or something, and it was supposed to fund this homeless project, but a lot of the money went back to them or something, just all kinds of stuff like that.
All of a sudden their houses are bigger, their cars are nicer.
Right. Yeah, I mean, take Black Lives Matter, take, all. I mean, you say the Somalis get a bad rap, but they kind of brought it on themselves. I mean,
they've earned it.
Yeah, they just caught a guy recently abroad who was involved in the big Feed America. I guess there was some Feed America scandal in Minneapolis, of course, and he was.
That's right. I did hear.
He was in another country. I don't know exactly where they caught him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all to say, we've talked in the past about, like, do Washington State politicians just hate us? And it, whether it's deferred hate or passive hate, where they just love themselves more than anybody else, or I mean, I think that's probably it, but also just a blatant disregard and a complete, just neglect of their own duty as a representative.
Yeah. It's definitely a hatred of God's order.
Yes.
So an affront to us in that way. Whether it's denying basic biology or acting as proper leaders should, as proper rulers should. It's definitely hatred in that regard, and
it's like if you just fed yourself double the calories that you needed every day, and only fed your child half the amount of calories that they needed, you'd call that child abuse.
Yeah.
Now, were you beating them with a rod? No, but you were definitely abusing them.
There was a tyrant in the past that there's a story that goes that her response in times of people not being fed is to let them eat cake. Ours haven't even been that kind.
Right. Yeah. So, and we do have the option. We could unseat ourselves from underneath these tyrants, and you trade tyrant for a different tyrant, probably different version, and maybe delayed. Maybe it's delayed a generation. Maybe you can find some place like Idaho or Indiana or something that it's not as bad, or it's really good in comparison. But especially being in the union, there's that corporate sense that we're still in this together.
Yeah.
And then you got to ask, what do you have the community that you had here? Like, what are you trading off by going somewhere else?
Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, we were just talking about that as we drove through Dusty, which is just basically a post office.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the post office is still there.
There was a cemetery.
There was a cemetery, so there's some form of population.
Yeah.
But you have a community, and I'm just taking Dusty as an example of a drive-through example, but in these kind of more remote areas, you may have a community that will help you out in a time of need. But how deep is the spiritual community in those areas? That can be harder to cultivate.
Yeah. Yeah, because let's say you can let's say you find a farm, and you've always wanted a farm, but you're like 100 miles from civilization.
Yeah.
It's like, that's really tough. And I know in the day and age of technology, where we can communicate with other people, you could do church remotely, which is a bad option, or like a definitely not an ideal option. But to remove ourselves from where we're currently at, I think would take a lot, and yet we also see issues with where we're at, and with ourselves and with our organizations, of how we can make them better and fix problems that maybe we're contributing to, maybe our families are, that we can. We're all responsible for the culture that is. You can talk about the concentric circles, in our house, in our city, in our state, in our nation. So how are we owning all those areas?
And taking a long view approach to those changes too.
Yeah.
Some people hear that. Our Russian friends hear that a lot of times, and they think that that's an excuse, or that's a lazy look. But you do take the long view, and you look at all the steps in between, here and then. So it's not putting it off, but it's just looking. I mean, if you're not looking in the long term, you are going to miss some things. If you're just making impulsive decisions. So yeah, it's a good idea to take some time to make some decisions, and then also you got to speed up on some of those decisions. And
right.
That's we struggle with that tension between taking action and then also the slow build. That was one of the things that was talked about as teachers, and I think this can be taken in all kinds of different ways. But we're building a cathedral, but we're not building a cathedral in a day. Some days we are just chiseling the rock so that we'll fit in the wall of the cathedral.
Right.
That will take 70 years to build, or 150 years to build, or whatever. And so that's...
And it might be even a piece that nobody even notices, but they would notice it if it wasn't there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a handful of work to do.
Yeah, and I mean, something else I was reminded of was the, even talking about, if I asked you what would be an evidence of pride, let's say in a teacher, because that's the context we were talking about, but it could be in anybody. Works for parenting.
Yeah.
What, give me an example of pride. You might say, in a parent specifically, you might say, well, like if they couldn't be told nothing and they know everything.
Yeah. I'm the best parent.
I'm the best.
I really have got it figured out. I've raised, X number of kids, and, they haven't robbed a bank or murdered anybody, and so I'm a great parent.
Right. But then if I said, come up with an example of somebody that's prideful by constantly saying how unworthy they are and woe is me.
Yeah, I don't deserve this position, and as a teacher or as a parent, or
I'm gonna mess it all up, and I'm just incompetent. Doug Wilson had a good quote where he's like, it's still pride even if it's in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Where you're just curled up and afraid of everything, and you're essentially boasting in your inadequacy, which you should be walking in faith and should have humility, but that's different than having that just almost a fake humility, where you're not actually saying that you don't know anything, because that's not true. You're exaggerating the point, either for attention, either for yourself, to have a pity party internally.
And his fight against that, his fighting words against that were, I want to say it was Chesterton, but he said the angels fly so high because they take themselves so lightly.
Mm-hmm.
And, so not taking ourselves too seriously, and being any form of pridefulness. But
You should be unflappable, just like, hey, that's, like we said earlier, hey, that's interesting, that you're acting like this.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm too flappable.
Right, or that a student, or say your kid, thinks they know a thing or two and decides to point it out to you.
Yeah.
Are you just is your pride hindered because,
or are you looking at that future adult and going, oh, okay, they might be pointing out something clumsily because of their age, but they're pointing out something that is, there's some part of it that is true, or they're not arriving at it in the way that us mature adults would.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny.
Because you could say the same thing for, meeting, like them clumsily pointing something out. They could also, you could have a total hater, take it. It's not a kid or a student, but you could have just someone that means you ill, and they could actually be saying some true things, like, or a hint of truth in it, where they're like, well, you just think you know everything, and maybe you don't always think you know everything, but maybe you had a hint of pride in how you delivered it. Like there's always something that can be taken from that.
Yeah, 100%.
So but that's really hard. That's hard to train your impulses and train your soul to not react to those things, or not react in a poor manner, react in the way that actually makes them stop and think and be like, why isn't he getting worked up? I'm calling him all these things. And also, it's not just that you just sit there and take it and do nothing about it, but in the moment, you're not flustered.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Gather yourself and then deal with it.
I don't remember if we were in the same session. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. I don't have my notes in front of me, but just that whole mindset of when something getting an email of a parent that's upset about something, or dealing with a student that is not handling things maturely, taking a moment, sending the student out to the hallway,
or your kid out somewhere,
absolutely, or not responding right away to the parent. One, because let's say you're not taking offense to it, but if you respond right away, the parent will, in their emotional state, and this goes with just human interaction, but just delaying your response so that they have time to think about their interaction beforehand. I thought that was good to think about it from that perspective, because oftentimes I would be like, all right, I need to not respond to this for my attitude, and there's definitely that, and I haven't had a whole lot of these. I'm for the parent wise, I can't think of anything where it's been that kind of a negative thing, but I can definitely think of times in my life where it would have been better for me to be thinking about the other person, and I'm not going to respond to it right away for my own sake, but also for their sake. Let's give time for the emotions to die off in this. I thought that was good, a good take that I had not thought of before.
And it's important to use time to your advantage, but not use it as an excuse to not deal with something, because that can, I think that's a perennial temptation by humans, is hope that things will just go away, hope that relationships are restored without forgiveness, but that's not how God works. And being kind to the student by, of course, they're not acting like they want your intervention, but knowing what seeing the behavior in a toddler, that, oh yeah, he's acting like he hates you, but he doesn't hate you. We've talked about this before, where no, he's actually crying for help. And the student that is just being just an ass, and just pulling out all the stops to just be annoying, and actually maybe mean, actually malicious, they need help pulling out of that.
Rescuing them from themselves, like you mentioned before.
And rather than leaving them to their own devices.
Coming into where are we at now? This is
it's gonna be Vantage here. Are you hungry? Do you want to grab a quick burger?
I want to check this place out.
Okay. Well, we just got a couple minutes here. We're about to go across the bridge, across the Columbia. It is a beautiful point in the drive. But hopefully you guys enjoyed some of those thoughts just from us just kind of winding down, coming off this trip, and some of these principles. I'm sure if we get together again in the next week, we'll probably touch on a few other things that might have stuck.
And we may just record this whole podcast, so we've been just talking to the windshield this whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see if it actually recorded anything. But until next time, weld defiance and obedience into one inseparable whole. And as you're doing that, stay humble, kick pride out of your soul.
Take yourself lightly.
Love your people. All right.
See you next time.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Defiance and Obedience podcast. Come back next time for another dose of constructive contrarianism curious musings, and fatherhood direction.
Poor hopeless kid behind the counter pulling coffee shots, and
I thought it was.
it's like, hey, is this your dream job? And the implication by his tone was, the answer better be no.